Hi everybody, I'm Lisa and welcome to Crafting with Mimi. Today I'm going to show you a couple of ways you can reuse your empty floral stems. So this is the part that you usually throw away. It used to have flowers on it or leaves or something, and you just toss it in the trash when you're done. Well, not me. Am I the only one that saves some of these sometimes just in case? Surely I'm not the only one, but let me know in the comments if you save these. If you're one of those ones that don't, you may want to start after seeing this video. And if you find value from this video and you are inspired, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate that. I love your support. I love your feedback in the comments, all the things. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet and you like my content, go ahead and do that now. Just hit that button and you might as well hit the bell while you're at it. That way you'll be notified when I upload a video. And if you've been here for a minute, you know that it's almost every day. I do short, sweet videos so you can get in, you can get out, and you can leave inspired. So with that being said, let's see what I've come up with this time. So I think the most obvious way to reuse a stem like this is to put a flower back on it. As you can see, I used this for something else and I pulled it off and saved it. So I'm gonna just stick the stem, a stem, back on it. And all you do is kind of just bend it a little bit so it's going around the spot that it used to be on, and just hot glue it down like that. I'm going to actually put the glue on my stem and then put it on my flower. So I'm just going to take some leftover leaves. First I'm going to take this leaf and I'm going to glue that to the back so it stays on. It doesn't have, it's going to keep it on there better. So I'm just going to put glue down on my flower. I'm going to put my leaves on top. And that's going to seal it in. If you want a little bit of extra leaves on there, just go ahead and add some leaves on there. All you have to do is glue them to the back. I'm actually going to make something out of this. So we've just rebuilt a sunflower. So that's one way you can reuse an empty stem. So I am going to put my sunflower aside. And I'm going to take this board. I got this at Michael's. Now there's hangers where you can hang it like this or like this. So I'm going to use it long ways. I have this tea towel. I got this at Dollar Tree, believe it or not. Isn't that cute? First thing I'm going to do is whitewash the board all the way around. I don't do the back. I'm just using Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster, and I'm just using a foam brush to do this. And then I brought my tea towel back in and laid it out on the board so I could measure where I'm going to cut and then rip. I wanted that rough edge, so I just put a little slit and then cut it and then ripped it where I wanted it. I left some room on the bottom and the sides because I wanted to save that tattered edge. I love the way that looks. Then I measured out the top and did the same for that. And now I'm folding the top like an accordion, and I'm going to be gluing that together. First I glue it to itself, and then there's a little opening at the top. I glue that together. There's a little space in between, and I'm just feeding some nautical rope through it. And this is how it looks. So my goal is to make it look like a little drawstring sack. And now I'm just tying little knots on the ends of the rope, and then I'm gonna like kind of pound it in my hand to fray the edges, and I love the way that looks. Now I'm gonna attach the towel to the board. I'm gonna line it up so the edges are hanging off, and I'm just gonna use hot glue to attach it. Then I put some Spanish moss in a Ziploc baggie, and this is what I'm going to use to stuff it. I didn't want to just put the Spanish moss in because that would have been such a mess. I just very carefully stuff it. I do lift one of the edges up by accident because I was being really rough, but I just hot glue that back down. This is going to give me a place for my florals. So I grabbed my florals, and all of these are from Dollar Tree except for the sunflowers. And remember that Spanish moss, the bag, I'm just puncturing the bag with the stems and it's keeping it nice and tightly in there. And then I'm gonna grab these bag of bees. I got these off of Amazon. There's a lot more. I've had these for a couple of years and I use them all the time. I'm gonna take a dowel. You can use a pencil or your finger, whatever. I'm just gonna twist it around the wire and then attach the wire to the florals. And it looks like the bees are hovering in the air. It's so cute. I love, love, love how this turned out. Now, I know the star of the show isn't our sunflower that we put together. Now you know how to use up those empty stems, at least one way. I'm gonna show you more, but there's one way. But look how cute this is. Here's a close-up of our project, and I love everything about it. I love how this looks like a drawstring on a bag. I love the greenery and the florals, the stinking cute bees that are hovering in the air, and of course our sunflower that we put together. Let me know in the comments what you think about project number 1. So for my next DIY, I'm going to use this stem. It's got some remaining leaves. I saved it because it's so long and I love that. So let's see what I'm going to do with it. So I'm just going to take this and make a little circle out of it and tie it together with some jute. So I'm just going to tie a knot so I can hold it, and then I'm going to wrap. And I'm just going to wrap it, and I left this one pretty long so I could tie a knot. So just wrap it so it stays, and in between my wraps I'm going to put some hot glue to make sure it stays. And y'all, I know you can just use a wreath, but the whole point of this video is to show you how to use things that you would normally throw away. So I'm just going to tie the knot in the back. And just as extra measure, I'm going to put my hot glue tip down in here and just squirt. Just to give it some more security. And now I'm going to take this scrapbook paper. I didn't like the gray tone to it, but I liked the fact that it was wood. So I cut a couple little strips. I put some popsicle sticks behind it and stained it with antique wax. And now I'm going to take one of these rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree. I am going to use the word forgiven. I'm just going to cut off the last part of that word and use the word forgiven. And then I just transfer it to the shorter stick. I left the edges a little jagged. And this just represents the old rugged cross. I just glue the 2 sticks together and then hot glue it to the wreath. And then I took some purple flowers and glued those to that piece of jute that was holding it together. Now to finish this off, I'm going to take some floral wire. And this is green. It matches the wreath. And I'm just going to cut little strips of it like this. And I'm going to wrap it around our wreath because this is going to depict the thorny crown. And I'm just going to put these all over. So here's our close-up of our thorny crown wreath, made out of spare or leftover greenery stem. Nobody will ever know. What do you think about this one? I love it. And for my final DIY, I'm going to be using this stem. The first thing I'm going to do is take this Dollar Tree wood round and give it 1 coat of white chalk paint. Nothing fancy. Then I just take some brown paint and I mix it with some pinks. I make this little landscape. This is just the background. You'll barely notice it at the end, but it's important. I arrange the stem how I think it will look good, and I simply hot glue that to the board. I make sure the parts that touch the best are glued down. And then I took this beautiful napkin. You can't really see it because of the lighting, And I already cut out flowers and stems from the napkin, and I'm Mod Podging those to the board like they're on the tree, just like that. Love it. And now I'm going to take some artificial flowers. I'm painting the inside of, or the middle of the flower black to match the napkins. And I glue those to the parts of the stems that are sticking up off of the board to make it more realistic. And it really does. And I use 2 different colors here. And then I took some similar paint as the background, and I'm just going to add one little detail that's really going to set this apart. I'm going to add a little man in a boat holding a fishing pole, and then I just shade all around him and on top of him with white to make it look like a foggy day. And I put the hanger back on, and that's it for this project, and I think I'm in love with it. I love doing mixed media art, and I hope this will inspire you to try the same. And if you found these videos helpful of what to do with your leftover floral stems, give it a big thumbs up. I'll see you next time. Have an awesome rest of your day. Bye.